Hi, my name is Jonathan Morin. I'm the creative director on Watch Dogs, and we're here on Expert Showcase Special Edition. There will, to an extent. So you have the second screen mode where you can play against other players. So there's no real co-op where you help other players with the second screen. We focus more on the PvP aspects of things. We have one mode in the online experience that can come seamlessly in the experience, just like the other ones, that is a team versus team experience. So it's kind of like capture the flag in the entire city where you have one team against another. And this one incorporate co-ops against other players if you want in the game. The world is pretty big. I know it's a vague answer, but actually, when you think about it, there's this war going on in the open world department of our industry about the obsession of the scale of each city, and each game needs to one-up another one. That's not really a war we dived into. You see, when you define space for a game, you need to have a reason for it. Some will expand beyond the city to make sure that if they have jets or helicopters to fly around, that there's enough space to have fun with it. In our game, you have a profiler. You can spend 20 minutes not moving and you're still playing the game. We're focusing a lot on density. So don't expect the biggest city ever created. It's an enormous one, but do expect the densest open world you've ever seen, as well as the most depth in its gameplay. When you invade another player, you can use everything you've got. It's actually one big part of the fun when you think about it. When you get into another one's game and you start hacking him, there's a critical moment where you decide to establish the download of information. At this very moment, the security of the other player's systems will detect that you are there, and it creates a certain circle in which you're going to have to stay to download your stuff. So there's a pretty big strategic point there. And you can use stuff like blackouts and hacking and all those things to create distraction, to try and disorganize the player to try and find you in the first place. So it's a big part of the strategy to use those tools. There's no seamless co-op in the experience of Watch Dogs. We're focusing a lot more on a seamless invasion, if you want, which we feel fit more with the fantasy of Watch Dogs that we wanted to focus on. Maybe one thing that you can do that we didn't talk about a lot is the free roam experience. So it's not a free roam experience where you have missions and modes going on. It's more like one of those things that developers use to test online in their game. They show up there connected and there's nothing going on. There's no activity, and we just sorry for the term, but around with all of the stuff and have a lot of fun with it. And we realized as developers that was kind of fun to do. So we decided to stick it in there in the game so players can literally create a public or a private session, define whether or not they shoot each other, and there's no mode creation or anything. They literally are gonna have to take a pen and a paper and start having fun by themselves, doing almost design R&D kind of things. So that's a little nice thing you can do to have your own breed of co-op in there. It's more like kind of a bonus the team wanted to give to the players. There's no such thing as a lobby in Watch Dogs. That's something that people have a hard time getting around. It's kind of under the hood. You're playing in single player and you're serving as a lobby person at the same time. The closest thing we have to a lobby is if you pop the map and you press the shoulder buttons to cycle to what we call the grid, which is all of the online activities are there. And you just select one, press a button, and then you're good to go, and it matchmakes you with someone else. You can focus on friends, you can do stuff only with your friends, you can invite people with other people, but it's only one click away of being done. Then you can continue to play while everything is calculating in the background. We've been playing a lot in games with huge menus with options and things like that. And while video games have been almost stagnant in that department, smartphone came out, and then even people were scared of getting online in games because there was too much steps to do it. And at the same time, they were the most connected people on the planet with their phones. So I think it was about time that we start making online and connectivity a lot more natural to people so we can go beyond the typical multiplayer modes that we've been doing in the last 15 years. There's no main differences between Xbox One and PlayStation 4. It's literally the same game. So I know the programmers are still literally fine-tuning stuff for resolutions things. So if there's anything that could be a difference, it might be on that front. But even then, I've played both games. They look literally the same to my eye. And I have a pretty good eye, so I can tell that they're both really, really good. thanks to the Wikia community for the question. It was pretty good answering yours, and hopefully you're going to enjoy the game in May 27th. Thanks a lot.